YouTube. It's the old soldier coming at you from Robeson County, North Carolina on a wet day. We had rain off and on all night, and they're calling for more rain today and tomorrow and through the weekend. Great. But it is what it is, and we shall deal with it as it comes along. But anyway, hope everybody's doing good today. Me, I'm headed to the doctor's office for a routine checkup. It's always fun, not, but anyway. Probably wind up getting my flu vaccination today. Get knocked out and be done with it for the year. Anyway, other than that, folks, I think we're in for an early fall here on the East Coast. Even with temperatures warming back up this week a little bit, not really getting out of the upper 80s. And when it rains cold. So, been my experience here that conditions like that kind of indicate an early fall. And I could be completely wrong for this year, but that's what my gut's telling me. So, but anyhow, watching Ungrateful Peasants video from yesterday about loadout of ammunition, and brought a valid point. And one of his recommendations is you get a box that you can carry and put mix of whatever type of weapons you got. You put a mix of ammunition in there. Because if you have to go walk on foot somewhere, there's no way you're going to want to carry 1,000, 2,000 rounds of ammunition very far. And you're saying to yourself, well, I got the pockets, and then, folks, I'm going to tell you something. I've got on my LBV, you saw in my workout videos when I was working out with my carbine, 6 30 round magazines in the pouches. That stuff's heavy. And that's just 6 times 30 is 180 rounds. Now you can imagine 1,000 rounds. You can put it in a backpack all you want, but you're not going to hump in the backpack very far. Unless maybe you're Arnold Schwarzenegger or Lou Ferrigno. It's not to say that you don't carry spare ammunition in a backpack, but 1,000 rounds is a bit unrealistic. But anyway, back to his video. He has some good recommendations on how to load an ammo crate box type or a tote box, what have you, out. You need to go check it out. The name of his channel is The Ungrateful Peasant. But he gives some valid points. He also gave some good advice on plate carrier, battle belt, those kinds of things. And just go check him out. Because he gives you some options on depending on what your scenario is. That's the thing. And that was something he was spot on, was scenario driven events. Are you going to have the same loadout if you have to bunker in versus you have to pack up and get out of Dodge? Okay? My answer would be no. Unless you have a mobile Army 5-ton truck. But even then, you're going to be limited to how far you can go with that, based on the amount of fuel you can carry. So my point being is that he was valid on your scenarios are going to drive what you load yourself out with. Okay? And that's going to differ from, natural disaster events to riding to just your everyday carry. me, I carry a handgun every day. Wherever I go, I have a handgun. And usually in my pocket, I've got one reload. And in my briefcase, my get home bag, as Steve likes to call it, of course, they're trainers, I have a box of additional ammunition for that handgun. Also in that bag, I've got a backup handgun. All right. And a few other items. But that's just, it is packed to get me back to the house. Now, if I've got to leave my house, in other words, bug out, then I've got an entirely different bag pack, which I've done a video on. And I probably need to go back and readdress that and make some changes. But as the old adage goes, something's better than nothing. But at the end of the day, you got to know what your needs are, and you got to try and meet those. But again, go check him out. Like I said, it was some good information, especially in this day and age with all kinds of craziness going on. You might be in a peaceful town one minute, and the next minute you come back through and all heck's breaking loose. It's just everything's so topsy-turvy in this world right now, especially this nation. And anything can spark it if you understand what I'm saying. At least little thing. And the worst part about it is the communists that are trying to overthrow us will perpetuate a lie in order to create an event. I bring the second part I want to talk about. There's a video out there where the Tennessee Highway Patrol was ordered to remove protesters. It looked like it was Knoxville at the UT campus. I'm not sure though, because the news commentator didn't mention, but anyhow, there's one big lady swears up and down a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer hit her over the head, and they've got camera videos from 3 different angles. Never touched her. Never touched her. So now what does she do? She goes up the street and has a medical event. Now whether she actually passed out or was faking it, I don't know. But we're seeing a lot of that. And the mainstream media is not going to tell you the truth, folks. 9 out of 9 times. Really, 9 out of 9.9 times. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to give it to you from a one-sided biased perspective, because either they're supporting this push to ruin our nation, or in the case of some of your local stations, they want the ratings. Ratings drive more commercial ads. More commercial ads means more revenue for their little rinky-dink station. All right. So they're going to go with the crowd when it comes to telling the truth instead of the facts. And sadly, the media has gotten out of control in this nation in that sense. And what do I mean by that? They will go out and run with the story before all the facts are in, and it's a catalyst for some of these protests that we're starting to see. And they take no responsibility for creating this atmosphere. That's the other thing. The only bright side of that coin here recently is that young man that was accused of racial slurs against the Native American won his lawsuit with CNN, or was it MSNBC? One of the two. Okay. But at the end of the day, when the news media attacks a minor like that, it's like you don't hear much play about the 2 girls that took a 7-year-old's Make America Great Again hat. They've been arrested. I think that's about all the news is told about it. But my point being, there's no follow-up on it. There's nothing. But at the end of the day, fingers got pointed at the kid because he ought not have been wearing that. What do you mean? It's a free country. It wasn't vulgar. It didn't have any curse words on it. And that's where we're at, folks. That is where we're at right now. And the other thing I'm going to put out here too is this. The left, the progressives, the liberals, the Democrats, pardon my language, are hell-bent on this mail-in voting. I'm not a fan of mail-in voting. I mean, when I was in the military, you had absentee ballots. I get that. But to do mail-in voting on a whole, I disagree with. I don't think the post office can handle the influx, nor do I think that it would be a legitimate election. So what I'm encouraging you to do is, if where you live at, if they're going to allow in-person voting, which they ought to, go vote in person. Because if you can go to the store and shop, if you can go to the doctor like I'm going right now and be treated, if you can go to work, for those that have been able to go to work during this whole thing, you can go to the polls and vote in person. They're just going to use this virus as an excuse to keep you home from going to the polls. And by voting in person, you have a much better chance of your vote being counted as opposed to being tossed. Right? It's just like the last gubernatorial election here in North Carolina, where at the very last minute, the midnight hour, 2 truckloads of ballots showed up from, I think it was Wake and Durham County. And it was just enough for Roy Boy Pooper Scooper to win and beat Governor Pat McCrory. Now, why Pat McCrory didn't contest this is beyond me. The only thing I can think of is they had dirt on him. It's just a speculation on my part. But nobody wanted to call out or challenge those election results. I think that's why a lot of North Carolinians are ready for change anyway. We've got 2 great candidates running for governor and lieutenant governor. Old Roy Boy Pooper Scooper's got to go. But that's kind of where we're at right now, folks. I've kind of rambled, ranted, and raved enough for today. I'm going to get on down the road here to Red Springs to see my doctor. Y'all stay safe out there. Watch out for one another. We'll talk to you soon. God bless. Take care. Soul Soldier out.